Buddy, today we're going to draw um, a kid model that we can then put Halloween costumes on. So I have this tiger here, just so I can go back to it and look at colors. I'm going to turn that one off, and I'm going to start from scratch on how to build a kid model. So the first thing we're going to do is just start with a pencil sketch, and this pencil sketch will end up being the basis for my finished drawing. So I'm gonna do another thing here before I start, just to make it a little bit faster and a little bit. So go back. I'm gonna turn on the symmetry button right here because it will go faster, and it will help me create a little bit more even drawing, which is helpful when doing this kind of illustration. I might adjust us a little bit in order for me to actually be able to draw naturally. I need this at a little bit of an angle and to make sure that we can see it there. I'm including all the tools so you can see what I'm doing. And I'll try and put this kind of in the center. Okay, so we've got our symmetry on and we've chosen reflective. So I'll just turn that off and we'll go with a pencil in black. And I'm just going to rough in the head. I know that's a little bit wide. Might be a little bit big. We'll see. And then we're going to have a neck right about there. And we'll have some shoulders. Let's do the chest and the waist and the hip area. Then we're going to have the thighs come along here, inside of the knees, the legs, the calf, the ankle, and then we're going to have the feet down here somewhere. So I'm not going to get too detailed on that just yet. I'm going to look at my proportions. The head might be a little wide, but being that it's a kid, I think it's okay. I think that I actually should have looked this up, but I think that children's heads are a tiny bit bigger and their bodies kind of grow into their heads a little bit. It's because they're so smart. They have to hold those brains that are so capable. So I'm just kind of sketching along here. So I've done the shoulders and taken it all the way down. Now I'm going to do the hands, and I'm just going to focus in here on one hand. Let's use the eraser button right here. And you should probably know, I just want to look. Hello, anyone who's joined. So happy to see you. I will check the chat every once in a while. I kind of get lost in my drawing sometimes, and I forget to do that. So we're doing a kid's model from scratch, and I'm just sketching. I'm just doing the rough sketch first, and eventually we're going to have a black um, line drawing that we can color in and make a Halloween costume that's changeable. So if this is the knee, our hands usually fall somewhere in our thigh. Some are higher, some are lower. It depends on how long a person's arms are. Some people have really long arms, some people don't. So I'm going to make these. This will be the palm of his hand, of this person's hand, and then I'll do a thumb like that, and then I'm just going to do fingers, 1, 2, the middle one is longer, 3, 4. That little finger is kind of close. That's okay. It's just the sketch part. And those are even on both sides. I'm probably going to change that. So now we want to let's finish off these feet. and bring the feet up here. I think that I'm just gonna do a basic shape because we're gonna put shoes on this. So, I might change the shape a little bit there. Let's erase that because the little toe would be on the outside. The big toe is on the inside, and the heel is in the back. Back to my pencil. We have the inside of the thigh, little wobbly there, that's okay. We're not into perfection here. And then, I'm sorry, inside of the calf, inside of the knee, inside of the thigh. So there we go. Hands look a little bit small. So let's see, we were using the symmetry. So what I do on one side will probably work for the other side, but let's find out. I'm going to lasso that because we're doing digital drawing. So we get to do fun, quick fixes. And now yep, it's chosen both. And so I'm going to transform those by making them a little bit larger. Oh, that's an interesting problem that it's creating. Make them a little bit larger this way. It's okay. I have a way to fix that. So I'm just going to take this side and put it where it belongs. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to move it up just a little bit. That feels good. Done. And then I'm going to turn off the symmetry button. There it is. And I'm going to deselect. And now I'm just going to, whoopsie. I'm going to go over here, just checking the comments. Um, this is going to be a kid model. Hi, uh, Azad. And Azad is asking, what is this? It's going to be a kid model from scratch that I am going to eventually put a tiger costume on and maybe some other costumes. We'll see. I've got 80% on my charge on my pencil, and we're going to go as far. Let me see how much charge I have right now. If I put it on there, I have 81%. That's great. So back to work here. So I'm going to choose this hand that's the same size as the other one, and I'm going to transform it just by moving it over here. So now I have matching hands. And I'm going to show you in a minute that I think I'm going to make this hand and this whole arm a little bit different than this arm. And we're not going to go there just yet though. Done. Let's work on, oops, done. And let's deselect that. So we've got the overall shape roughed in of the kid. Let's work on the face. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this. If I were to say this is the top and the bottom of the head, um, oops, forward, cancel lasso. Go. I'm going to go back to my pencil. I'm going to divide it roughly in half. You could go slightly higher if you wanted to, or slightly lower if you're looking for a particular style, but I'm just trying to make this kid look pretty normal. And then I'm going to divide this lower space roughly in half. And so that's giving me an idea. Now, I want to go back and turn my symmetry on. So what I draw on this side is going to happen on that side and vice versa. And I'm going to start with, where's the bottom of the nose? I marked that here. So then the lip, top of the lip, medium, bottom of the lip would be there. Chin is here. So the big one that everybody has to, play around with is the eyes until you get them the way you want them. So in this case, I'm going to put the eyebrow above Make it nice and wide because this is a fun drawing, and having a nice wide eyebrow makes the character fun. And having big eyes also makes the character kind of fun. And then I'm going to take a dot right here, and I'm going to go out with my eye and go up to that line that I created before, and that's going to be the outside of my eye. You notice I started a little bit lower, and then I'm going to do the same thing and go up to that line that I created earlier. So I've got where my eyes are going to be. So I'm going to make inside of those, I'm going to make one really big circle that doesn't completely, it's inside the eye opening. So you don't see the bottom of that circle, the eyeball. Let me just draw it for you, and then I'm going to hit the back button. Like the bottom of the actual eyeball would be somewhere down there, and the top of it would be somewhere up here, but I'm not going to actually put that part in my drawing. And then I'm going to go close up here on one. So this is going to be the pink area here on the edges. This will be all the white area. Then we want to have the colored iris here, and then inside that we're going to have the pupil. And I can just use my eraser button so this becomes a little bit clearer by getting rid of some of those extra lines now. Okay, so this person looks very intense. Let's see what happens. We may change the eyebrows a little bit to make him look a little less intense. In fact, I think I'll do that right now. I think I'm going to bring these eyebrows a little bit higher. And so the person doesn't look quite as intense. There we go. There. Now the person doesn't look quite as intense. We can put an eyelid on here as well, just an indication of an eyelid. And then let's go on to the nose. So the nose, we have a knob at the bottom, at the point of our noses. We have little nostrils that come out, and I'm using that line that I originally did as the bottom of the nose. And then to show the sides of the nose, I just do kind of like this squared off C shape on each side. And then you might want to go here and indicate it goes up. You don't have to draw it all the way up. Okay, so that's a pretty simple nose. And then I might come in here and erase the top of that. A little bit of extra there. So we're drawing a kid model from scratch today. And I'm going to check the comments. Thank you. Heart Fox says beauty, and Detective Me says ooh. Thank you so much. Mia. Um, I'm pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. Okay, so now let's go to the lips. So if you remember right, this is the top of the lip, where the mouth closes, and the bottom of the lip. And I want to put a little smile on this person. So I think I'm going to start with the middle line, and I'm going to, oops, I got my eraser there. I'm going to go out like this and just curve a little bit up. And I'm definitely not going past the center of the eyes. I'm kind of going, if you were to take a line down center of the eyes and the nose, I'm going like in between those two. Like here's the edge of the nose right here. If I were to draw dot, 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 center of the eye, edge of the nose, I'm going somewhere in between. And that's where I'm going to put my smile. I'm going to go back, and get rid of those guidelines. Whoops, not that one. Okay, there's my smile. And the top of my lip goes up a little bit and then down. Bottom of my lip is going to come up and meet that. There we go. Oh, I did it from the wrong place. I'm sorry. Love the back button. Here's the bottom of the lip. So there we go. We have a little bit of a smile. I could bring that bottom of the lip in a little bit under. It changes how the lips look. I kind of like that better. And then this is just a line to show where the chin is. So I'm liking that face quite a bit. It's very even. And I think then we have to decide how wide we want the head to be. I don't want to go any wider for sure. I think I want the head to be right about here. And I'm going to bring that line up here. I'm going to just erase so I don't accidentally pick these lines up later when I'm doing close-ups for my finish. Sorry, bumped you. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I am using Adobe Fresco as my program. This is an iPad, and I'm using an Apple Pencil with it. And I have all the links for exactly what I'm using in the comments. Some are affiliates, some are not. You don't have to. I got the iPad Pro. You don't have to get the iPad Pro. That's the most expensive. Thank you, Yellow Fire City. I really appreciate the compliment. What I really, really appreciate if people enjoy watching other people draw and getting lessons. Um, and sometimes I draw without talking at all, but usually I can't help myself and I talk. Please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and I'm only at 720 or so. So if I can get my subscribers, I really, really appreciate it. It means the world to me because I want to come on YouTube all the time, but it takes time and so building a channel with actually a steady following is super important. So here we are so far on what our kid model from scratch looks like, and I'm going to keep going. I was just about to put the ears on, so back to it. And so the top of your ears, like if you think about the center of your eye, and if you were to have glasses, they would sit here and you'd have this going back and it would tuck in behind, behind your ear. So your ear pretty much the top of it has to be pretty close in line with the side of your eye. So that's what I'm going to do is put that there, in and out for the earlobe, and then I'll just do this little thing right there, which is the flap on your inner ear. And then let's just do a little bit of erasing here. Clean up, clean up, clean up. Just cleaning up a little bit. It doesn't really matter if it's messy because this is not going to be your finished drawing. And in a moment, I'm going to show you. So now we've got some ears. And we're just going to put on sort of a jumper. Um, and this will be, whoopsie, wrong pen. I'm just doing the sketch now. So this person is just going to have a jumper underneath everything that they're wearing. And we're going to put, it's going to be sleeveless. So let's work on the hair. Now, to start with, let me think about this. I want the outside of the hair. This person's just going to have it's going to be a short haircut like that. Goes back behind the neck. But then I don't actually want this to be symmetrical. So I'm going to turn the symmetry button off and I'm going to draw the hair. Actually, let me turn it on. I want to have a part right in the middle. Now I'm going to turn the symmetry button off. And so now we're each side's gonna be different. So this side, I want to go behind the ear. This side, I want to go in front of the eye. I wanna have a little bit of a curve, kind of a loose piece of hair coming down. I'll go back up, and then this piece is just gonna go like that. So what's gonna happen, I'm gonna erase the lines here that don't make sense anymore. The top of the head doesn't really make sense. And this line doesn't really make sense either. Starting to make better sense. This ear doesn't make sense anymore because the hair's going over the top of the ear. I'm gonna erase that ear. And this part of the eye is covered. Whoops. I accidentally, let me be a little more careful with my eraser. So now we've got the basis of the kid with just the basics done. I know there's the legs are a little wobbly. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that when we do the final black and white line drawing. Okay, so I know I wanna do a couple things. I want this kid to have, let me go back to my pencil. I want them to have a different colored streak in their hair, so I know I'm just planning ahead of time. And I think I want this kid to have something in this hand, and so you don't have to do this yourself if it feels too complicated, but I'm gonna do this because I want this to look symmetrical, but also a little natural, and that is we don't stand like this perfectly even. It's very rare that anybody stands like that. So I'm gonna move this arm. I'm gonna use my drag tool. Just making sure y'all can see me. And this is still pretty light. I'm gonna go with a dark black line in a minute here, but I wanna fix this arm first, and then we're gonna move on to the dark black line. So I'm gonna have this person holding holding something in their hand. So the first thing I have to do when we hold things, we tend to bring our arms closer to our body because things are heavy. So let's move the arm closer to the hand or closer to the body. I'm just gonna tilt it and move it in like that. It's a little bit too tilted because I want to grab the bottom part. Okay, it's kind of messy there, but that's okay. Done. This is my rough sketch, and I'm going to deselect that. So that arm is now closer to the body, and I am going to now move the hand out so it can hold something. So I'll grab at the elbow. I'm still all on one layer, by the way. This is all happening on this little pixel layer. And I'm going to tilt that one so I can transform it, move it like this. So it's going to be, let's bring it out about like that. So now that is pretty much where I want it. Done. Deselect. Okay. Let's get really big here because I'm going to change this hand. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of lines we don't need so it looks, as I change this hand, I'm going to get rid of the end of the fingers because this is actually going to be a hand that's grasping. I'm going to move the end of the thumb. Okay, so I just kind of took off the end of everything. And now I'm going to go back to my pencil and I'm going to put this thumb right like that. And I can erase the lines underneath it so it feels natural. That thumb's maybe a little bit too big. Just going to go a little bit smaller with the thumb. Now with these fingers, I'm actually gonna I think I'm gonna start from scratch. Get rid of those fingers because 'cause I'm gonna end up erasing those a little bit anyway. So, now we're gonna do the little finger, and so what it's gonna be doing is just basically it's gonna be grasping like kinda like this. Like, I'm sorry, like this. I'm gonna have 3 fingers and then 1 finger and the thumb in between. So, here's the little finger grasping, the next finger, and then I'm gonna have it like that. So I feel like I wanna make this one a little bit bigger, this one a little bit better shaped. Okay, so now I've roughed them in. I'll erase right here. Now, we could get a little bit more realistic by showing all of the fingernails and all of this, but I'm just doing a rough indication, and I think that's gonna work fine for what we're working on. So, this hand right now, I could put something in it like this, like a flower stem, right? And that person is now holding something. So for right now, I'm not going to draw that out. We're just doing the base model of the kid. So you don't have to do this part. You can just leave both hands the same. And so now I am going to move on to, so this is my rough drawing. I'm happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, um, I won't lock it yet. I better lock it just to be safe. I don't so I've just locked that layer, so I can't accidentally erase it. I can't accidentally color it in. It's just a basic sketch. So now we're gonna move on to an ink layer in a vector brush, which is and I'm gonna go with a black line. I'm gonna make it about 10 points wide, and I'm just gonna check, "Stay forever, you're learning drawing now." Oh, thank you for Fire City for subscribing. That's so great. I'm in the USA. I am in Washington State. I'm almost in Canada. it takes about an hour to drive north, and I can visit Canada. So I go up to Vancouver sometimes. Sometimes I go to Surrey. I love going to Surrey because there's there's a very diverse well, Vancouver too has a very diversified, um, population, and I love to visit the fabric stores. The fabrics are so beautiful and colorful. They come from other countries, and they're just amazing. Um, so back to the drawing. So I'm in Bellingham, actually. Thanks for the thumbs up, and we're gonna start inking in this kid. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna keep the symmetry button off. I'm gonna do the parts of the drawing that are not symmetrical. So let's do that first. So the hair here is not symmetrical. This ear is gonna show, the other ear is not. And I actually wanna make sure that I've got some space between that line. Something that I'm gonna be very careful about when I'm drawing this is that the, lines overlap or completely touch, because these actually become lines that I use to fill in colors later. They become like outlines that hold the color in from kind of going all over the page when I use my bucket fill. Am I happy with that? No. I want it to swoop. Okay. And then I can't forget I have this little sliver of hair that I want to do a completely different color than the rest of the hair. Okay, so this layer is completely separate from my sketch layer, and it's just going to be a whole lot easier for anybody who comes on now to see what I'm drawing because I worked all the details out in the sketch, and now I'm just gonna. Okay, so the outside of the hair is symmetrical. The eyes are symmetrical. I know I'm gonna have to erase some lines here when I do the eyes later, but that's okay. The nose and that's symmetrical, so I'm gonna leave all that for the moment. And I am going to do each of the arms because they're not symmetrical. So I start right there, go down along the hand. Might make the hand a tiny bit wider. Let me go back and fix that. Go in a little bit at the wrist and then back out. You can make your body any shape you want. If you want this person to be rounder, definitely make them rounder. In fact, I might make this person a little bit wider in the hip because the shoulders are oh, thank you. The shoulders are a little bit wide. And some people do have wider shoulders. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, you really can't do it wrong because it's your own drawing and it's going to be the way you want to. Hey, Russian dog bird, nice to see you. Um, we're working on a kid model from scratch, and we're going to turn it into a Halloween costume of a tiger. So right now I've got a sketch layer here, and now I'm doing the black and white line layer, and I'm doing the parts that are not symmetrical. And so this shoulder is different than the other one. Whoops, how did I end up with that? I want a black. Sometimes this program, there's like some little nuance thing that I touch and I actually completely make it do something I don't want it to do. Okay, this shoulder comes like this, down to the bend in the arm, and then we've got the forearm will come out a little bit on the thumb. I don't like that. I'm going to change it a little bit. There we go. And then we'll do the inside of the upper arm, the elbow, the forearm, making sure everything overlaps and joins together outside of the hand. Then we'll do the fingers that are grabbing something. We don't know what. It can be your surprise what it's grabbing. I'm probably going to put a flower in this person's hand or plant. Okay, so I said I was going to maybe. Oh, I'm going to turn the symmetry button back on now because we've done all the parts that don't match side to side. So now we're going to go ahead and turn on the symmetry button, which is under the grid here, turning it on, and I'm using just a simple reflective. So this will make my drawing go a little bit faster. I'll do that dot. Okay, let's start at the top. We are going to make the part of the hair. I'm going to come out and make the outside of the hair. Is that a little too wobbly? I think it's okay. we can always smooth it out a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to try not to get too picky. Oopsie, that was a mistake. Stop. I meant to I grabbed the bucket by accident. I'm going to try not to get too picky because it's a bad example. Let it be. Let it be imperfect. Okay, going back to, I'll draw the neck in here. Make sure those lines touch. And then the top of the shoulder. There's the neckline. And let's just get this face done. So our eyebrows are here. And yes, I'm going to draw on this side. The other side, I will be doing some erasing over here. And then we're going to do the top of the eye, the bottom. Nice round pupil. Iris. And then the round, the separation of the white and the pink of the eye. And then we might just put a line here to indicate there's a eyelid. We could also do another one down here that says there's a little bit of a shape underneath. And let's finish the face, and then I'll go back, turn off symmetry button, and erase some things, or maybe wait till the end. So we know we want our little nostrils there, outside of our nose with that simple C shape. And then we'll just come in here and finish off if you don't want to go all the way up like that, you don't have to. Let me undo that. We could just do a nose down here and not show the rest of it. Your choice. Okay, lips go like this. Got a little smile going on. Here's the middle. Here's the bottom. Here's the indication that there's a chin below. Here's an indication that there's actually a bone structure underneath this person. Let's do the clothes or the body shape. Okay, so I decided that I want this body shape to be a little bit wider here. I think I went in, so what I'm trying to do is I want actually this to be the same. This to come out a little bit more. There we go. And we are right down to the bottom of our page. I may take the whole thing and move it up just because it's making me uncomfortable. Okay, so now we're going to go on I'm actually going a little bit bigger with these lines to describe. And I'm moving fast so that they don't get too wobbly. When I move fast, I tend to be less wobbly. Okay, and now we're going to put the underclothes bottom here. There. So I'm going to turn off my symmetry button. I'm going to use my eraser here. Thanks, people, for hanging in there and watching. And I'm going to erase. Let's get really big so you see what I'm doing. I'm going to erase where the May go back and fix some of the black line. I have the symmetry is off. Okay, so I've hidden the eye now. I am going to turn off my sketch because I don't think I need it anymore. I'm going to just hide it. There we go. And then I'm going to go back up to this layer. I'm going to erase some more messiness. Then I'll go back here and just sort of smooth out these lines. Round that off. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so there's space for everything to fill in now. Okay. I'm going to put this in shadow right here. It's so small. And I might just do a little bit of separation here. We'll do that on both sides. I'm using the eraser to get that separation. And then I'll go back and kind of fix this line here. There we go. Okay, I'm liking that kid. All right, now we get to have some fun. Let's make sure that all of our lines are overlapping, cleaning up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, so I won't make it perfect. Okay, so this gets kind of fun now. We can, before I start filling in colors, I'm gonna actually take this layer. Let me just close that for a minute so you can really see what's going on here. So I'm on this black and white layer, and what I want to do is I want to duplicate that layer. Now I've got two of her. This one, I'm going to move down here. Oh, it won't let me move it down because, will it? It will. And I moved it on top of my sketch layer, and I'm going to lock that layer group. See the little lock button there? I don't know if you, oh, you can't see it. I can't make it bigger. There's a little lock button on it, and then I'm going to make it disappear. So that now it's like a safe, this is in safekeeping. I can always go back. It took me so long to get to this point. I can always go back. If I mess up this one, I've got a backup. So there we go. I've got that backup, and I was thinking about moving her up, but I think I'll leave her where she is. No, I'm gonna move her up. So here we go. We're gonna move her up just a little bit. I'm gonna grab, oh, I wanna be on this layer. I wanna grab everything and just, whoops, done. Go backwards, done. So let me turn the symmetry button on when I'm doing this and make sure that we stay in the middle when we move up. I think I can't stay in the middle. That's an interesting problem. Let me go back. Nothing to undo. So I'm going to use the arrows instead to move her up over here in the corner because I'm afraid transform. Is she moving? She is ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. I have to tap, 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 tap on this. It's so you can move things like you can do micro movements. But this is how I can get her to move up exactly in the center. When I grab it, it kind of goes all over. Okay, thanks for bearing with me while I moved her up. Okay, done. Ta-da! Okay, so this could be fun now. Let's start filling in some colors. Um, I'm gonna go over here to my tools. Where's my tools? They disappeared. Oh, here they are. I'm gonna choose the bucket. And I'm gonna, first of all, let's put on some nice light blue under jumper garment. And then I know that I want to make this person's hair is going to be some funny colors. I'm not going to make this person's hair normal colored. I'm going to make this part blue, and I'm going to make that little stripe pink. So there we have sort of a completely different looking person with their hair. Now, skin color. You can make the skin color any color you want. So, in fact, let's just grab a few different colors and see what happens. Let's make this person a dark brown and see what happens. I'm not going to do the fingers until I get to the end. And so that's great. It's leaving all the parts that I don't want colored dark brown, like the lips and the eyes are still a light color. Let's try another color. This person, we could make this person a super light color if we want to. We can make this person any color we want. So I'm going to go with, you could make this person green if you wanted to. So let's say you're going to do a witch costume. You might want to just paint the person green underneath. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to choose a medium color, not too dark, not too light, I think, and fill in the fingers too. Now for the eyebrow colors. I think I'm going to go with a black eyebrow color because I'm doing a tiger and I know that they have black accents. So I'm going to fill those in black. I'm also going to fill in the pupils of the eye black. And then I am going to give this person a fun color eye. I wish I had green eyes, so why not? Right, and then this part won't show when I fill it in, but I want it. I'm gonna go right in here. I'm gonna fill that white and white. And you can't really see what's happening, but I know it's filling those in white. And then I'm going to use a super, super, super light pink for this part here. And I don't have the other corner of the eye there. There. So I've got my eyes pretty well set. And then I'm going to choose a rosy lip color, not too pink, but let's go to pink. Let's go to right about there. You can make them any color you want. You can make them bright red if you want to. Oh, I know. I might choose that same pink that I've got over there. Let me do that. I'm going to use my eyedropper and go over. Whoa! I'm going to eyedropper that again because where's my eyedropper? There it is. Move it up to this pink. Now I've got the exact pink, and I'm going to close that, and I'm going to bucket fill. There we go. So now we've got our kid with their underjumper on and their skin color and their fun colored hair. So now we're going to go back to drawing. I'm going to add another layer because we are now going to start making a costume. So I'm going to add a layer here, and I am going to draw a basic. So I'm just going to do a bodysuit. I'm not going to cover the arms. I think we can do the entire costume in just a bodysuit that goes down to the ankles and starts at the shoulders. And if you want to also draw sleeves, you certainly can. I'm just going to keep it simple so I can keep it symmetrical. So let's start off by drawing a bodysuit over the top of this person. And I'm on a new layer. I'm going to go with the black color, and I'm going to stay either on the black lines or just outside of the black lines so that I don't have any of the underclothes showing up later. What's going on? Cancel. I chose the wrong tool. Let me get my vector tool. This is my vector brush, so I can do fill in colors later. And I'm turning her sideways so I can get a good line going here. I'm going to go all the way down. Make sure they overlap. And then the clothes stop at the ankle. And they come back up. Make sure that's overlapped. So there we have clothing. Now I've made sure all my lines overlap for the outline of my clothing, and I'm going to bucket fill that clothing with my bucket, and let's just say I'm going to make it black. Wow! Okay, I'm going to undo that because I forgot to do something. Where's my tools have all disappeared. Okay, there we go. Back button. So I forgot, I want a lot of times on costumes and on because they're pretending to be animals, animal costumes, there's sort of like the chest, torso area is got a different color in it. So let me draw another section, and I want my symmetry button on. I'm just going to draw basically the belly part of the whatever character it is that we're doing. I'm going to do one other thing too. I want this to have, I'm going to change this. I'm still on, am I on the right layer? Where am I? Yeah, I'm on the clothing costume layer right here. That's where I want to be. Yes. And I want a collar. So I just added a collar. And I might erase, so I don't have to, I might erase that line in between. Okay, now I'm going to use my bucket tool. I'm going to fill that black, and I'm going to fill this belly gray. Okay. So now we've got our basic for our costume. Maybe we should put some shoes on too. Let's put some shoes on. I'm going to go back to my black outline and I'm going to put some shoes on. Maybe put a little heel on the shoe. And let's just fill those shoes with black. Okay, there we go. Kind of feels like the shoes are a little short. I wonder if I should make those a little bit bigger. Let me erase. Erase that. End of the shoe. We're just going to make those shoes a little bit. Am I on the right layer? Yes. There we go. That feels better. And we might just bring them down like this. I'm changing the shoes a little bit so they look a little bit more like shoes I'd put on. You need a little more space to get your foot in. Now I can paint them black. Okay, so we've got some shoes. All right, so I put a picture of a tiger in here. You're going to see a tiger in a second. Oh, let me put it up on the top because I want to think about how to make my costume look like a tiger. Oh, this is interesting. So the body is really more of an orange with a black stripe coming on it and a white belly. So with the stripes going over the top of the belly. So I think, and then it's got a tail that's black and white, which we can add the tail. But I think I'm going to change my body colors on the costume on this layer. Okay, so I'm going to turn this, let's see. I could actually select that whole thing and make it small and put it up in the corner. I got this picture from Wikipedia. Um, cancel. What am I doing here? I want to select all and make this smaller. We're going to put it up in the corner because I'll be able to draw colors from that. All right. So here we go. I am going to go back to my clothing layer. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to ask for a color. I'm going to take my eyedropper right up to this orange color right there. That's interesting. This color is very close to the skin color that I chose. So we might go a little bit oranger just to make sure that we have a little bit of a difference in color. Yeah, let's make it oranger. And I'm going to bucket fill that. And then we're going to make the belly white. And now we're going to use our magic wand and we're going to select this and we're going to select that. So now I've got all of the costume. And what that does is it creates an outline so that I can take my pen back and forth, but it's only going to put marks inside those what's in that dashed line area. You see the dashes that are kind of sparkling a little bit? It's chosen, I'm gonna go even closer so you can see. I have done the magic wand to select the clothing only on this layer. And so now I'm gonna start adding the costume stripes. And I am totally winging it. I have not practiced this. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna choose black. And I'm gonna make it a little bit wider than what I've been working with. I'm gonna take it up to 40. And we're just gonna start adding stripes. So start here, add a stripe out. Oops, a dot. And here, I think I'm just gonna go across and do some stripes like that. Go back and maybe do them just like that on the outside of the legs, and then I'm gonna go all the way across. Got my symmetry button on still. Oh, that's interesting. Why did that one go outside? That's so weird. Well, it's okay. We'll just that's so weird. Oh, and I can't even erase it. Interesting. So, it's because I'll have to deselect. Okay, what I wanna do before I erase those is, do I like this costume? I do. I think I like this costume just the way it is. I'm gonna deselect and erase these little lines that went a little bit too far. There we go. Okay, there we go. So, next thing is I think I said I was gonna add a flower to her hand, so let's do that. It could be that she's holding, a tool, a flower, like, what would be, she might have to have a knife because she's in the jungle and she has to cut the vines to make a swing. I'm using my imagination here. What other I'm just gonna put a flower in her hand because I love flowers. You can put whatever you want in her hand because it's your drawing. Okay, so this is gonna be a lot like the costume in that it's gonna go on top of her hand, so I have to be careful about how I do this. Um, and maybe just so that you can see specifically how I'm doing this, I'm gonna choose a green line instead. Um, I'm on the costume layer. I'm just gonna oops, I chose the wrong no, I'm on the costume layer. I wanna choose a vector. I probably wanna go back to the 10-inch, 10 pixel wide, 10 point. So I've got the flower there, and now I want the flower coming out the other side. But I have to close it right like that. Now I'm gonna bucket fill. And it looks like she's holding the stem of what's soon to be a flower. Let's make it, I'm going to make it a wild rose. Do they have 1, 2, 3, 4? Do they have 4 petals? That's a good question. I think they have 5. I might be doing this wrong. I usually look this stuff up, but I didn't. So we're winging it. I think they have 5. And then I'll bucket fill that. And I will put a yellow center, very light yellow center in it. And oopsie, I still had my bucket. Let me go up here so you can see better. And I'll go back to my vector. And they just have sort of a, we'll go ahead and, I could actually fill that with a little bit brighter yellow on the inside. Let's go just a little bit brighter. So it looks a little bit, I'll go to my bucket, hello. And then I could go with even a more golden, and I can put in some, sorry, I gotta switch back and forth between my tools quicker, some dots to show this end of the stamen. This is probably not super accurate, but it's very flower-like, so we're just going with it. Okay, so now we've got a pretty flower. Maybe add a little bit of green stem. Go back and grab that same green. See, I've got a palette of all my colors here in this drawing, and we're just going to add a little bit of green here and there. Different sizes. Might go back with my pink and fix that. Okay. There we go. I had my symmetry button on. Oh boy, I goofed. So this, oh, I'm very lucky. This is on the costume layer. I'm so lucky. So I can just turn the symmetry button off. I love it when I make a mistake. I do. I love it because we all learn from it. If I had done this on this layer, I'd have to be like fixing everything. But in this case, because it's on the costume layer, I can just go over here with my big old eraser. I'll make it as big as I can. And I can just erase the flower that I don't want on that side. Woohoo! That was easy. Okay, so now I'm thinking I like that costume a lot, and I might wanna do a different costume. So oh, we need to do the tail. Okay, so again, I don't want the symmetry button because I don't want 2 tails, and I wanted it to be a black and white tail. So I could actually I could create another layer behind this layer if I wanted to, or I could draw it right on this same costume layer, but I could draw it, let me just add a layer right here, and then we'll merge these 2 together eventually. But or we might keep it separate, I'm not sure. So this is going to be, a tail is gonna come from the back and go out here. Oh, I've got pink. Let me grab black. Okay, so a tail is going to come from the back of the costume. It's going to come out here. And I think we're going to put a curl in that tail. Make it nice and wide. and we're going to bring it back. So here, I'm going to have to make this disappear. I have to make sure my tail, let me go here, make sure my tail will fill. That's all I really care about. I'm going to turn this back on because, so the tail was black and white. It didn't have any orange on it. So what we could do is that we could fill it with, go to my bucket fill. I'm on my tail. I'm on my tail, and I'm going to fill it with black. And then I'm going to take my white paintbrush right here and start. Oh, that's pretty thin. Let's put that back up to 40, like the other one. Ish, 40-ish. And let's start. Actually, I'm going to undo that. I don't think I want any of these to completely separate the black. So we're just going to go in like this every other. And I don't want to go all the way across because that will allow me to change the background of the tail color if I wanted to. Um, I don't like that. It works, but I don't like it. I actually do want to go all the way across with some of these. Let's just do it. Do it, Maggie. Just go across. Don't worry about it. Is it starting to look more like a tiger tail? A little bit more like a tiger tail. I like that. That looks pretty good. And so the last thing that you might want to do if you want to fill in the background, you can. And I would, so I was going to merge this. Am I going to merge it? No, I'm just going to put these layers together. Those layers are costume layer and tail layer. And I'm going to lock that. Am I going to lock that layer group? Yeah, I'm going to. Thinking. Yeah, I probably should have made a duplicate, but that's okay. We'll start from scratch. So I am going to lock this layer group because I'm happy with that. Um, and next thing, and I'm going to turn this tiger off. I'm going to hide him. And then I'm just going to like do a little bit of a background. So I'll add a new layer. I'm going to put it way at the bottom behind the girl, behind the original girl. And I am going to separate it into two spaces. And I'll go ahead and use a paintbrush with a green. We'll have this person on a kind of a dark green lawn. I'm going to choose that color and just have them standing on a dark green lawn. So I'll bucket fill that. And then the rest of it, I'm going to bucket fill with a nice light blue sky. Actually, let's make it a little more vivid blue so it's different from her hair. There we go. So there we've got our person with a background. Oh, wow, look what happened here. Okay, so that's super interesting. Wow. Okay, Let's go up there and fix that. I'm gonna go fix that. I love mistakes online because then you get to learn that mistakes are okay. I'm gonna first of all unlock that layer group. Then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ungroup those layers and I'm gonna find that tail right there. And now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna erase the extra white. I'm on the tail color. I'm going to make my eraser smaller and I'm going to carefully erase my extra white. I love it when I make mistakes like this. Yeah, I forgot to do remember when I did the costume before, the main body, I isolated it by choosing the magic wand selection tool, and I got that dashed line that went all the way around. Well, I forgot to do that when I did the white lines on the tail. And because the background was white, it didn't show up that I was going way over on my lines. And then when we filled in the background, my mistake showed up, which is definitely something that happens when you're using digital, is you don't always see your mistakes until you do other things. And it just takes a little patience sometimes just to get through a little detail like this, where we're fixing. Could be you're drawing animal hair on an animal, and it just is every stroke of hair has to be drawn. It's just a matter of having the patience to do it. And it's something you grow. Patience usually doesn't come to us all naturally. We have to grow our patience. I haven't checked the comments in a long time. Let me just do a quick check. Okay. Comments from Russian Dogver. Nice to see you too. Thank you. I'm so happy you come by often. And I think that you said you downloaded the program onto your iPad, which is Adobe Fresco. I think you said your mom was going to download it for you. Um, I hope that I hope she did, and I hope you're using it. I hope you're having fun. If you haven't got to it yet, I hope you do get to it. Um, so this is Adobe Fresco, the program, and I'm using an iPad with an Apple Pencil. You can also use a any kind of a tablet or um, phone or computer that has a stylus. If you go on Adobe Fresco, they show you all the things that are compatible with their program. I have used a Wacom tablet that I've attached to um, I've used a Wacom tablet attached to my computer, and I've used a smaller iPad. Right now, I'm using a big iPad Pro, and I put the link for that in the comments of this. So if you subscribe and you want to come back and practice and do this more, you can find all those links. Some are affiliates, some are not, and it links you to if you wanted to buy an iPad, a pencil, or if you want to download the program for Adobe Fresco. I put all those links in the comments of this, and they're in the comments on not all of my drawings, but on some. You'll find that in the comments. Okay, so we're done with the I'm gonna go ahead and save this picture into my, and then I'm gonna show you this really cool thing that Adobe Fresco does, and that is it records every stroke that I made, and it shows me a record of, and so if you didn't join me at the beginning, this is where we started. We started with a sketch, and I showed you how to use the symmetry versus not symmetry, when to turn it on and off. We blacked it all in with heavy lines. We moved it up on the screen, and then we started filling in colors. You can make your person any color you want, light or dark, um, crazy color or real human color. And then we put the costume on a different layer and started filling it in, and we put the tail on another layer. And so if we want to, right now, we can go back. I'm done with this. We could go back and we could make a whole nother costume, and we could turn this one off, and a zebra, or um, we could do a fashion girl. Let's do a combination of a fashion girl zebra. I think that would be fun. So I'm going to turn off the tail. We don't need the tail. I'm going to turn off this costume. We don't need this costume. And those two layers, I might lock those so they're vector layers, and I might lock that layer group so we have it for the future. And I'm going to make a whole new set of clothing. Okay, so we're going to do a zebra girl, fashion girl, a zebra fashion girl. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this layer, duplicate this layer, and because I think I'm going to want to put leggings on this person, and I've already drawn the legs kind of perfectly. So on this layer, I'm going to draw another black line here. Choose black. Thinking through, I haven't practiced this part, so I have to kind of think everything through. I'm going to turn my symmetry button back on here, and ha ha ha, I have a really big line. Go down closer to where I was before, and we'll go ahead and do. So now if I wanted to, I can just add leggings to this person. And so let's just put on another, we'll put on the same color as the underwear for now, and we'll choose the bucket. There, now I've got leggings underneath, and it's on. So this layer I am going to lock. So I'm on this layer that's got my leggings, and I'm going to add another layer on top. So the leggings, let's make these, we're going to make a zebra girl. So let's make these zebra girl leggings black with white stripes. And I'm not going to forget to do my symmetry button. So let's choose black. Sorry, I'm thinking a mile a minute in my head, and I'm talking, and I'm live. Okay, and then I'm going to choose my symmetry button. Yes, I've got my symmetry button. I'm going to choose my paint. Oh, I'm going to choose my magic wand, and it's choosing everything, but I'm just going to draw inside of this black area, and I'm going to choose a white color in a vector brush to make my zebra stripes. And I want to have a bigger brush. And let's make them come in from the side, kind of like the tiger stripes did, until we get down here. Okay, we've got our zebra stripes on the bottom. And I'm going to stop selecting that. Deselect. Now I'm going to add a costume layer on top. So this, okay, this is good. So let's just draw what the costume on top is going to look like. And I think that we'll just change the neckline a little bit. That'll be kind of fun. And maybe we'll put some gloves on her. That might be kind of fun. Some sort of sleeve. It won't be the fingers. It'll just be sort of a sleeve thing you can fit on her. And we can put sort of a mini, not a, yeah, kind of a mini skirt. And we're going to make her more fashionable. So, yes, it's a costume, but it's going to have some fashion to it. So, it's going to be zebra, but it's going to not be zebra. Okay? Because we are creating this as we go and we can do whatever we want. So, I do want the symmetry button on. Yes, it's on. Let's make that black skirt outline. We've got a waistline right here with a big fat line that I didn't really mean to do, but that could be a belt. So let's go with it. Make it even a little bit wider. A really cool belt. I'll go with a little bit smaller line here. 16. And then we're going to do a skirt like this. For now, I'm just going to fill it in with a white color in a bucket. Thank you very much. And we could change that color later. I just wanted to see how the shape looks. And then let's do a shirt that's got a little bit of a cap sleeve, because I think I can make the cap sleeve work even though these aren't symmetrical. I'm going to go back here and we'll choose the black again, making sure you can see everything. Okay, so now I'm going to actually bring this collar down here a little bit, up like that, and do a cap sleeve, totally winging it here. Is that working? Yes. And bring the clothing all the way down to the other black line that I drew. Okay, I like that. And then we're just going to go ahead and let's put some buttons on the front. When you've got the symmetry on, sometimes it's hard to get a perfect round shape. Just saying. Okay, that's okay. They're not exactly the same. And like I said before, I don't have to be perfect. Make them all about the same size though. They're pretty close. Okay, got our buttons done. And now I've got our buttons done. Ha ha ha. And then let's add some pockets. And we can add some stitching on the pockets. Let's change colors here. I'll just change to a gray. And let's add a belt buckle there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that pink color and we're going to add a pink shirt that we're going to also put zebra stripes on. Okay, there we go. We've got a pink shirt. And now we're going to add, should I add black zebra stripes or white zebra stripes? Let's try black. Oops, I've got the bucket tool. It didn't do anything. Good. So do I want to, I think I want to do my magic selection just to, so I don't have to clean up later. Now I'm going to stay inside the pink area when I do my black zebra stripes. Why isn't it working? Oh, I see. It is confused about where I want to draw. I want to draw there, but I don't want to draw inside the buttons. Okay, perfect. So you just have to kind of, with Magic Wand, you have to keep clicking on things until you get the area that you want. Make sure I'm in the screen, and I also want to check. Thanks for hanging with me, whoever's there. I am looking for subscribers, so please, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe to my channel. And then we're going to keep going, just checking the comments. Great. Okay, zebra stripes are happening. Get quite stylish here with our stripes. I love it. So let's go ahead and fill those with black. All right, now we need some, oh, we lost those. Remember we drew the shoes, the feet are a little short. We fixed it by drawing. I'm going to hit the deselect here. I've got my symmetry on. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to draw some shoes. So let's make these shoes. Oops, I've got the bucket tool by accident. Let's go back and draw these shoes. We're going to make them a little bit longer. Put a heel on them. And then I will fill them with black. Now, I'm thinking that we could change it up a little bit here, and we could put a polka dot skirt on her. So I think I'm gonna do that. Went black with the fill button. Oh, I don't want to go black with the fill button. I want to go with a kind of a light green. I'm going to go here. And then we're going to go back with the, let's go pink. And whoops, didn't want to do that. Oh, that looks kind of cool though. Let me see that again. That looks kind of cool. And then we could put the green dots. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do green polka dots. Go back over here, pick that light green color. And we're going to start doing some polka dots. There we go. We got a polka dot girl. And then let's put a crazy flower in her hand this time. And I'll show you how to do that flower again. Let's move this over, make this bigger. Let's just do a super crazy flower in her hand. So I'm on the costume layer, which is good. That's so this, whatever I draw is going to go on top of her little hand details. So I have to kind of work around the fingers. This simplifies, and I'll use the green, I'll use the matching light green that I used on her skirt to, and I'm going to go to a fairly narrow line so that I can get in here and I can just outline the finger tops. I'm going to go down a little bit there. This is going to be the tail of the flower, the stem, the bottom stem. And I'm going to go all the way up here. It's going to tuck underneath her thumb. And then I'm imagining that this line goes all the way across her fingers, comes out here, and goes up. And the same with this line. It comes all the way across her fingers and here, comes up, and then I want to carefully there we go. Now this is going to be a crazy flower, so we'll make the stem a little bit curvy. We're going to put leaves on it. And let's just, I'm just going to draw it out all out in the green color. We're going to make a wide center. We'll make the petals come out like this. Did I turn the symmetry button off? I didn't. I made the same mistake that I made the last time. Look, I'm accidentally let me turn the symmetry button off and let me erase. I made the same exact mistake. Uh, okay, so we found out last time it was really easy to fix this problem and make my eraser nice and big. I'm just going to go over here, get that flower. There we go. And then go back to my drawing of the flower. Turned off the symmetry so it won't be doing it on the other side anymore. So there we've got a really big flower in her hand. I love it. I'm going to use the bucket to fill some of this with that light green that kind of matches her clothing. And then let's make it a pink flower and we'll choose that same pink and we'll just bucket fill the outside stems. And then a nice bright yellow for the center. So I might go back down here and add some green, some darker green details. So if that, let's go down to this green and just add some line details to the flower or to the leaves. Oopsie. We'll just add just a little bit of detail for fun to those leaves. I'm going to make that line a little bit wider, and I think I'm just going to make sort of a shadow line. Now I might go in here and make that a little bit fussier by filling it in. Got a little thin right here. I can go back with my black and kind of clean up this stuff a little bit here. There. Yay. Okay, seems like we could make that hair a different color. I'm thinking that we might want to go with the green hair with a pink stripe. So let's do that. Let's go and find where is that hair. The hair is on this layer. Oops. Oh. That might be cool. Okay, let me pick I love these. I love Happy Mistake. We're going to do half of her hair black and half of it green with a pink stripe. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Now we could go further with this and we could do, so this is sort of our kid fashion costume, that is, actually more of just a fashion, costume that's been styled after a zebra a little bit. And I think that I am going to probably conclude. Let me look at the time if I could do one more costume. Could I do one more costume? It's getting on in the day. I think I'm going to not do another costume today. And I'm just going to thank everybody for joining me. And I'm just going to quickly turn this. Let's see, there's the underclothing. Let's just turn on these upper. Oh, they don't show anymore. Let me unlock them. Unlock, ungroup. And I'll just quickly show you what happened with the last costume. We had a tiger with a tail, and I need to turn off this costume to show you that. And I think that we made a big improvement when we went to turn this one, let's see, let's turn this one off. Let's turn that tail off. Oh, that reminds me though. Let's go to this one and turn it back on. Let's do a quick zebra tail on this costume. So even though it's not a true costume, let's pretend that the zebra tail comes off from the back of the belt. It's a fashionista thing. And the zebra tail looks a little bit different. So I'm just going to do it on the same costume layer. I'm going to do it in gray to start, but we're going to fill it in with black in a minute. But gray will help us it'll help me show how I'm going to draw it. And we'll fill it in with black in a minute because I'm going to come right up to the edge of, let's see, we want the tail coming out the side below her hand. So I'm just going to draw the outline of the tail first. And then let's fill that line with black. So I went really close to the leg. Okay, now I've got a shape and I can fill the whole thing with black if I want to. And then if I want to come back in and do some white stripes, what I can do is do the magic wand and then do the white stripes. They need to be a little bigger. And now we've got a tail. Deselect. We've got a zebra tail on the fashionista zebra costume. I think her shoes, actually, before I quit doing this, we're going to put some green shoes on her because, well, maybe not green. Maybe we just need to. Maybe we just need another color. How about the yellow? I'm going to use the yellow. And I'm going to fill in her buckle. So I'm on the fashion layer. I'm going to fill in her buckle with the yellow color that we used on the flower center. Now she's got a yellow buckle. What happens if I fill her shoes in with yellow? Oh, wow. Let's try the pink shoes. Yeah, I'm liking the pink shoes better. And the last option would be the green shoes. No, not the green. Back. Well, I could do the two colored shoes, but that would be expensive. So let's go with that. And we could put some pink laces on them. So I'll go back here and I'm going to grab my pink color and we will make this a bit smaller. And we're going to do, oops, I want to put my symmetry button on. So we'll do the tongue. And we will do the laces, crisscrossing. And then now we've got, I don't like that last button. That last button was, the last line was a little confusing. So now we've got some laces. Let's do this one here. Perfect. And we could add a black sole. That's what we'll do. We'll add a black sole to the shoe. There's the heel. There's the sole to the shoe. Oh, that looks a lot fancier. I love it. So there's our kid fashion. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you the next time. I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to leave here. I'm going to clean up my house a little bit because it's Saturday and I've fallen a little bit behind. So I'm going to do some housework and then I'm going to go out for a nice walk outside for the rest of the afternoon because it's a beautiful day here. A little cloudy, but it's not raining. So makes for a good walk day. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye bye.